A couple days ago when I'm recording this, Crystal Dynamics has released their next big expansion for their Avengers game all about the Black Panther, titled War for Wakanda. This expansion was delayed last year due to the untimely passing of Chadwick Boseman out of respect. However, in the meantime, we got two Hawkeye updates, Taking Aim and Future Imperfect, and both were pretty fucking mid. Kate's story was good in the last 40 to 30 minutes or so, and Clint's story, while trying to be really cool with all the time travel shenanigans, was just really lackluster. Neither are what I'd consider to be bad, but they just weren't living up to the potential of a AAA Avengers game. But War for Wakanda is exactly what I've wanted from this game since its initial release all the way back in August of last year. It's got this light, comic booky feel that makes the game easier to enjoy. Honestly, if all these expansions needed was just a little more time in the oven, then I'm all for it. Just look at the color scheme of Wakanda. No longer is this game always set at nighttime and takes place in the canyons of Utah or in some old shield vault. Crystal took pretty much everything I liked about that one New York map set during the daytime and made an entire expansion look like it, with bright, vibrant colors that make you actually feel like you're playing a comic book. As a veteran that's been playing on and off again since launch, I can safely say that Black Panther is probably the easiest character to get into and play out of the entire cast. His playstyle feels like an amalgamation of different pre-existing characters while adding in his own spin to keep the accuracy to the character. Like Captain America, he can double jump and I don't know what that move would be called, I guess it's a tackle. But instead of just bouncing off after the tackle is done like Steve would, T'Challa pounces on his enemies, allowing you to get a few good hits in before jumping off. He's fast and nimble like Widow, and can even shoot quick projectiles like Hawkeye, both of them. His abilities are powerful without feeling like you're breaking the game. My personal favorite is the ability to throw a spear and stick multiple enemies to a wall. That's kinda hype as fuck. The Black Panther is fast, powerful, and addictive to play. It's only 2 days after launch, and I've already got him up to level 31 as I'm reading off this script. Don't get me wrong, I love the rest of the cast, but T'Challa is just too fucking cool. He's also voiced by Christopher Judge, best known for playing Kratos in God of War 2018, which obviously helps with the cool factor. Judge offers a great performance, one that can convey emotion without getting lost in the Wakandan accent or trying to just emulate the late Chadwick Boseman. In terms of the actual expansion, much like everything else I've talked about, Crystal took fan feedback to heart and expanded on this universe in an intriguingly fun way, instead of just having us open more vaults and other boring shit for 5 more hours. Its initial setup is about AIM's Wakanda division, which is run by Ulysses Klaue, invading the nation, and at the same time, the Avengers stop by to ask for help pertaining to corrupted vibranium, a dangerous strain of the Wakandan metal which is showing up across the world. And if you want to know the rest, you'll have to complete the 6 to 7 hour story to find out. The overall narrative doesn't drag, but it also doesn't rush itself too much like the previous 2 expansions did. T'Challa actually has a small arc about learning to trust others on top of his ongoing battle with Klaue. There's also the inclusion of the character Crossbones, which came out of complete left fucking field. But at the end of the day, I'm glad we're getting more B-list villains that were underrepresented in the MCU. Also, I'd just plain shoot myself in the foot if I had to fight Taskmaster or Abomination for the 75th time. The actual Crossbones boss fight is probably the best one in the entire game, solely because you actually have to do things besides just mashing the square button. The final fight, while incredibly frustrating to the point where I wanted to punch the elderly, it was satisfying to complete, and I did enjoy how the game made you multitask. It's probably the only situation where I'd say that it'd be better to play with friends, just so you don't have to complete all the tasks on your own since the AI is completely useless. The current biggest problem with this Avengers game moving forward is that because of its nature as a live service title, you can't play majority of the game without being connected to the internet and having the most recent update installed. Meaning that, going forward, this game is only going to get bigger and bigger and will take up even more space on your hard drive than it already is. And with expansions not being bad per se, but still not really resonating with people, I'm sure that there's a lot of us who have considered deleting all 82 gigabytes of Marvel's Avengers. Thankfully, War for Wakanda is a damn good time, and is by far my favorite story in this Avengers game, even topping the stuff that I loved in the base game. Honestly, if you have a copy and are willing to wait that really long install time, then yeah, play the hell out of this. Now, if you don't have a copy and aren't really sure if you want to drop 25 to 30 smackaroons, I made 2 other videos in the Avengers game talking about the base game as well as the Kate Bishop update. So go ahead and click the videos in the card on the right or wait until the end screen to watch my videos on the rest of Marvel's Avengers to see how I feel about it. Look, as somebody who dislikes live service titles, I ended up having a lot of fun with this expansion. I've put in at least 11 hours or so and wouldn't be surprised if I end up putting more in after I'm done with this video. Speaking of which, that's all I've got to say about Marvel's Avengers. At least until the Spider-Man expansion releases, I have no promises when that comes out. What do you guys think of War for Wakanda? Also, who's your favorite character to play as in Marvel's Avengers? Tell me all about it in the comment section below. Anyways, like, subscribe, and all that jazz. I'll catch you guys next time. Later, kids. Have a good night.